Tim, I like the insight. Thank you. I want to switch gears for a moment and talk about digital literacy. Adding to the massive downsizing of magazine publication throughout the past year, 34 of our major newspapers are facing record declines in both readership and advertising revenue. Furthermore, many print publication and television broadcasters are migrating their content to the internet as media distribution is quickly moving towards a more efficient digital system. While the wide accessibility of information can be seen as a net benefit for learning, it seems to me that students will have to further refine their ability to discern both the validity and reliability of their information sources. Tomorrow I'm giving this one to you. What do you think we need to do to prepare students for the digital literacy needs of tomorrow, to determine what's true, what's right? What do you think?
Hi, my name is Tamara Paris-Collins, and I am a proud member of the MLT Evil Geniuses. Today I will be discussing digital literacy as it relates to the English Language Arts classroom. But before I begin that, I want to go ahead and define what is a digital native. Digital natives are those people for whom technology had already existed when they were born. They are simply our students. These students are accustomed to the internet, the computer, the usage of other equipment in the classroom such as smartboards and document cameras. They are also very well familiar with digital tools such as blogs and wikis, as well as digital storytelling. One of the very important questions an educator must always ask themselves: how do we meet the digital natives' needs as it relates to the 21st century? One of the fastest changing avenues for schools today is the actual digital literacy. It is safe to say today that many students are using the internet for their research, rather than going to their local library. These same students are using social networks most often than the average adult, thereby increasing the need for the digital literacy. Even major newspapers such as the New York Times and television networks such as MSNBC are relying on the internet to get the news out faster. Many are even using social networks to spread local and world news at lightning speed. With information being spread with a click of a button, what exactly are teachers doing to capture their students' attention? Many English language arts teachers are turning to digital stories to draw their students in. Digital stories are computer-based reading selections involving audio, narration, video clips, and sometimes music. Now, rather than a teacher reading from a book, students can simply listen and press pause when they need to digest the information. Teachers are finding this is an incredibly invaluable tool to the students. It allows them to pause and reflect on what they are listening to. They can also refer back to their actual reading selection, perhaps a textbook. Now, with more and more students using the internet for research, teachers are finding that they must teach students how to distinguish between a valid and reliable source. However, despite the extra step that teachers need to use to teach how to distinguish between valid and reliable sources, they understand and are becoming more and more aware that digital natives are a part of our culture and that we must be able to meet the needs of that 21st century learner. Hence, the popularity of digital storytelling in the classroom.
Wow, great ideas. Okay, Justin, I'm giving the next one to you. I want to talk about digital competencies. It seems that today digital technologies are evolving at a near exponential rate. Almost daily we're faced with either a new operating system, new versions of software applications, or even new communication mediums. Tomorrow's professionals will have to adapt to a constantly changing technological environment. A continuing rate of change will be commonplace for this generation, and they must be prepared to continue building upon their current skill sets throughout their adult lives. Justin, how do we help to teach students to teach themselves in the future with digital competency?
Thank you, Scott. Hello, this is Justin Krakey from the MLT Evil Geniuses reporting on digital competencies for the future. In 1965, Gordon Moore predicted that the number of transistors on an integrated circuit would double approximately every 2 years and was expected to continue that way until 2015. This expansive growth is so prevalent as technology is fused into every aspect of our lives, with new trends emerging almost daily. Children today are introduced to technology at increasingly younger ages, with video game systems, cell phones, television, and the internet being just among a few. The problem will not lie with merely interfacing with these devices, but how to effectively employ them to connect and communicate on a global scale. So how do we prepare tomorrow's learners to have the skills needed to utilize technological tools that haven't been invented yet? It may come down to a new code of cyber ethics. Cyber ethics is defined by the United States Department of Justice as a code of safe and responsible behavior for the internet community. Practicing good cyber ethics involves understanding the risks of harmful and illegal behavior online and learning how to protect ourselves from other internet users from such behavior. It also involves teaching young people who may not realize the potential for harm to themselves and others how to use the internet safely and responsibly. One issue that will have to be addressed is intellectual property rights. With so much accessibility to information and digital products, students will have to know what is safe for use and replication. Countless fines are doled out and user accounts shut down every day because people do not abide by the laws pertaining to the creation and ownership of digital materials. Another issue that often arises is the validity of information. As it becomes easier to create a web presence, users will have to learn to sift through the myriad of available information to find sources that are reliable and valid. As we become more connected, various social habits that normally stay on the playground are now breaching into the internet. Cyberbullying is an increasingly common problem in the World Wide Web today because of the anonymity that the internet provides. We will have to teach our learners how to deal with digital harassment and who they can turn to. Technology provides access to volumes of information at the tips of our fingers. However, on the opposite end of that spectrum, the availability of information is also leading to problems of identity theft. You no longer need a local phone book to look someone up. In fact, social networking sites provide a platform for people to willingly give their information to the world. We need to make students aware that anything they put out there is available to anyone who wants it and will be there forever. These are among a few items that our digital natives will be facing in coming years. Having a firm understanding of the potential power inherent in our interconnectivity will better prepare our students to adapt to the ever-changing face of technology. Back to you, Scott.
Wow. Evil geniuses indeed. I'm starting to feel better about some of these issues. Thanks, Justin. Next, Ginger, I'd like to talk about multimedia development. For previous generations, it seemed that sectors of media and entertainment were pretty segregated. Journalists reported news and information stories in printed word. Photographers captured meaningful images and developed film. Musicians made audio recordings. But today, it seems like media is beginning to consolidate. Journalists are video blogging their stories, musicians are filming the recording process, and graphic designers are building content-rich, interactive web pages. America has led global creative development for the past century. However, tomorrow's generation will face the unique challenge of being literate across media platforms requiring a whole new set of competencies. While this realization might seem pedestrian to some digital natives, it'll likely be a challenge for many. Ginger, how do we get young people ready to be exposed to video, blogging, and a whole host of multimedia development?